Sorry, guys.
Week 2 DFS. Here we go. Quarterbacks. Jimmy, what are you thinking, bud?
All right, quarterbacks. So my lock. This is gonna sound like kind of a weird lock because, like, oh yeah, everyone's gonna play this guy. But my lock is Pat Mahomes, 7,700. He's coming in at like 7 to 9% ownership. He's playing the Chargers. You know, I mean, what else do I have to say? I mean, the Chargers are just not very good, right?
Yeah, they're an 8-8
And
team.
and exactly, if Mahomes is going to be 8%, then like just fire him up everywhere, right? Like that's just my guy. The guy that almost got there for me, as I'm sure you guys will mention, was Rodgers. He almost got there for me, but my
So
fade.
are you not playing Rodgers? Like, how many lineups are you playing, and how much share do you have of Mahomes then?
So I'm playing 14 lineups. I got about 60% Mahomes.
Ooh,
Yeah.
all right.
I have about 30% Rodgers.
Right.
No, 20%. 20%. My fade guy is Brady. I know everyone loves the matchup. Everyone's all over Brady. But, he's old. The Panthers, they did actually okay versus Derek Carr last week. And I thought Derek Carr was going to throw for a lot more. I think that the Buccaneers will use their like mishmash of like BS running backs that they have with like Fournette, Jones, and all those like collection of losers to just run the ball down the Panthers' throat. I think Evans will have a good game, but Brady, for 6,500, nah.
Yeah.
And then my guy that, Joey kind of put me on him.
Sorry.
Deshaun Watson. He's $100 cheaper than Brady. I'm going to play him in about two or three lineups. He's going to be about 4 to 6% owned. That's it for me.
Yeah. I like that, man.
So you're rolling out 3 quarterbacks then.
Who's your
Right?
who's your possible
No.
shot in the dark?
So my like deep shot in the dark.
Yeah, who's your dart?
It's got to be
I mean,
Watson, right?
It's Watson and then Jimmy.
Yeah.
He's going to be
Jimmy-
like 0% owned.
Yeah, and
So-
just hoping
literally.
Jimmy gets like 3 red zone touchdowns.
So FTN Daily has him at 3.91% projected. So that's about anywhere from like 2 to like probably 5%, depending on the tournaments that you're playing.
Mhm.
He's 5,700, and the Jets seriously might be the worst team in football. Like everyone's talking about the Patriots going tank for Lawrence, but like the Jets really might have the number 1 pick, and they might just tell that pasty white ghost they have playing quarterback to just like, look, dude, go back to Southern California and like maybe like back up Jared Goff, and you guys can be 2 losers together, and they're gonna draft Lawrence, right? Like 5,700. Look, everyone's gonna call me a homer. I'm a Niners fan. You see the Niners hat, like that's fine. But like 5,700, it's gonna be 3 to 4% owned. Give me Jimmy. He's my dart throw.
I like that. I was on Jimmy really hard this week, especially in the beginning, and I just seemed to take him out of every lineup as the week has gone on. But early in the week, I was all in just because the Jets are so fucking terrible,
They're bad.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
Ben, what are you thinking?
Yeah, and it just kind of finish up on Garoppolo. I'm getting my exposure to Garoppolo through 2 of his weapons this week. So there's only like 2 weapons. So I'm just playing those guys as like pay down punts. And I mean, if he throws, he's only going to get yardage and points through 2-3 guys, so I'm just going to play those guys and take my points. Like, I don't think Garoppolo necessarily has the upside versus the Jets. Like, it's not going to be a shootout most likely. So I'm off of him, but I see it for sure.
I mean, but just before we move on, there's a legitimate possibility the Niners could score 50 points. No.
So what I'm thinking is like Kittle, he finished the game last week, and they're holding him out this week because they do not need him for this week, right?
Yeah,
like
they're
I think the
100%.
Niners, what they're going to be doing is run the hell out of the ball, play good defense, and just try to grind that clock away, get a W, and get the hell out of there because their team is so injured. I just don't see them putting up 50. I see this being an easy win. But fantasy-wise, I'm scared of the matchup.
I could see him getting to 50, but I don't think it's like the Mahomes 50. Like, I think it's Garoppolo throws for 2, they run for 3, and there's like 2 defensive touchdowns in there.
Okay,
right? They could get there, but
so maybe looking at my DraftKings lineups, maybe Jimmy was kind of a cop out.
I like it for he's super cheap and he's 1%. Like
he's gonna be 1%. That's what's so awesome about it.
I'll give you one more dart throw. It's Teddy Bridgewater.
Hey.
You're all on the Teddy train, dude. You were on.
So the only reason I'm on Tampa Bay at all this year is not because of Brady and all these new things on offense. It's about their defense. I'm scared of the Bucs defense, dude.
All right,
I'm not. They're a pass funnel. They're gonna have to throw. Give me. I've got right now. I'm looking at my lineups. I guess I was bullshitting about Mahomes being 60%. I've got Mahomes more like 40% because I have Bridgewater in 2 lineups right now.
Oh. All right.
Okay.
But it's not Bridgewater naked. It's Bridgewater, McCaffrey, and Moore in each lineup. So if you're gonna do it. Yeah.
You gotta go all in.
So
Vinnie,
I'm playing.
Who's your lock, fade, and Darvin?
So I'm playing 15 lineups, right around you. I have it split 3-3-3, and then 2. I'm split across the board on all my guys. What's that?
3-3-3 is not an even split.
No, you cut me off. I was going 3, like 5 guys playing 3 lineups each, you dick. So the guys that I'm on, I'm playing Matt Ryan, I'm playing Mahomes, I'm playing Rodgers. The guy that I think is just ultimate sleeper, and I think he's got just as big of upside as anyone on the slate, and I don't know why anyone's on him, but I'm rolling Big Ben in my main lineups. I like the Steelers this week. They lost A.J. Bouye on the other side of the ball. They don't have Von Miller. Ben, after like the first, 5 or 6 passes, once he, got hit and like got up, started limping and like got back into the rhythm of things. Like, dude, he was on fire last week. Juju was happy, fired up. Like that offense kind of got back to rhythm real quick. I think they could come out and just smoke Denver. Denver did not look special at all against Tennessee.
Vinny, what I love about that is everyone's scared of Fangio and that defense. And the thing is, like, they're great at stopping the run, right? He's an old school DC. Connor, I am fading completely this week, and I think everybody is. I think he's at like 1.5%. I think the Steelers are going to have to just throw the hell out of the ball. Big Ben might have over 40 attempts this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, he's just going to go out there. That he knows this is, his last ride, kind of in the sun. He's got the weapons, so – I think he lights it up personally. So I've got him as one of my top plays tomorrow. I like Matt Ryan. I'm off Dak. I'm fading him. I'm not a Dak guy. Like, I think similar to the Niners, like Dallas could get to 40, but like 4 different ways. Zeke could have 3 touchdowns, right?
Totally everyone's riding Zeke this week, right? And that's what scares me. It's like who's going to get in the end zone this week?
So Dak's coming in at anywhere. FTN Fantasy, their latest ownership is anywhere between 13 and 16%.
Yeah,
so that's
high,
fair.
Man.
That's fairly high. The only other higher quarterback on the slate is Kyler Murray at 16 to 18%. Which,
and I'm
honestly,
off Kyler too.
Well, look, I have a little bit of Kyler. We'll let Joe go here, but I'd rather play Kyler at that ownership than Dak because Kyler's got nobody like Zeke that he can just turn around and hand the ball to. And Kyler is, like you saw it last week, he had 80 yards rushing and a touchdown. None of them were on designed runs. Right? He just like runs around like the little freak midget that he is and like scores all these fucking points. And it's just like, dude, you can't stop him. Like, the Niners have a good defense. They have fast linebackers. They have fast safeties, and they couldn't even stop him.
I think, and the only reason I'm off of him is just simply like, I personally think for where he's going to be ownership-wise and for, like, I don't know if the Cardinals just came out and just kind of punched the Niners in the mouth and stunned them, and took it to them. Like, I feel like for me, I need to see it another week or two. And I do think like Washington's D line is no joke.
Yes.
Those guys are going to come at him hard. And I got to imagine, like, I don't know why the Niners didn't adjust it all and put a spy on Kyler. Like,
but for that same reason, Vinny, like, I don't see I mean, I know people are going to think like, what kind of drugs were you doing before this? But I don't see a huge difference between the Niners pass rush right now and the Washington pass rush. I know that sounds like weird, but when you go back and I really looked at the film from the Washington game, because I wanted to find out like how did they win this game?
Yeah.
Right. So, I use NFL All Access and I watched the film and like they come so furiously up the field and Carson Wentz, like for everything that he's lauded about how like well he moves in the pocket, he just like can't move.
Yeah,
right?
He's average.
Exactly. So Kyler Murray, if he can break contain just like he did last week, those guys are just going to scream ass up the field. Yeah. He can break contain. I would rather play Kyler Murray at the same ownership percentage as Dak because Kyler Murray is going to get me that 50 to 70 yards rushing just purely off scrambles. In a DK where passing touchdowns are only worth 4 points, like that's almost 2 passing touchdowns for sure. Just on rushing yards.
And I'm 100% with you. If I was paying for the chalk, like I'd be going Kyler over Dak 100%.
All right, Joe, who you got, bud?
Yeah. Honestly, I'm kind of on board with you guys. My stars, my locks are Watson and Big Ben. I'm not saying Baltimore's defense is suspect because obviously they are a Super Bowl contending team, right? But fantasy wise, I do feel like the Baltimore Ravens are suspect when it comes to fantasy. That defense has they have a big, road ahead of them in every single game. They're going to be up, right? And teams are going to be passing on them. Marcus Peters is the scariest guy on that defense, and he's a boomer bust guy. He's going to try to do a pick six, or he might give up a touchdown, right? And he's great, but Baltimore's defense, their safeties, right? They have replacement safeties in there. The second corner is a replacement corner. I'm just not fully buying in. And Deshaun Watson this week, they're going to be playing from behind, and I'm very sure of that. And the combination of Watson and Fuller is probably my favorite thing this week. And it is making me nervous because I'm not reading that anywhere. But Baltimore is suspect. Yeah, the Browns didn't put up points against them. But all of their grades on PFF, the Browns were annihilating Baltimore on PFF grades, play-by-play. The Browns just can't convert because Baker couldn't fucking convert, or Odell was dropping first down passes.
Yeah, and you're just not reading it because people are just afraid to pick on Baltimore. Like,
exactly.
This is a lock win. They're going to win this game. Like, but
obviously, but fantasy-wise.
If they can hang and just keep it, like, within 10 points, 14 points, like, it's a shot to take down a GPP because, like you said, Watson's going to be flinging this thing 40, 50 times tomorrow.
Because who else does he have, right? And Bill O'Brien, as a head coach and GM, give as much flack as you want. But as an OC, the guy actually does a job, especially
he's not calling plays for this year. And what concerns me is Bill O'Brien, like with the play. And I've just like been doing my best to fade like bad coaches. And again, like he gets his team to the playoffs and everything, but last week he's like punting on a 4th and 1 and plus territory down 15. It's like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah. But what I love about Deshaun is when Deshaun is even within 17 points of a game, that second half, the guy might throw for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns in the second half alone.
For sure.
Right. So Watson is my play this week. Like I was all over Lamar, Dak, and Ryan all in the beginning, but they're going to go so chalky. I want to take a quarterback that's at 5%, not 20%. And that stack between Watson and Fuller is my favorite because who the hell else is he throwing to? Kenny Stills had like a 20 grade on PFF last week. Like, it was god awful.
Yeah.
My other person is Big Ben. The Steelers against Denver for the same reasons. I think their secondary is depleted, and they're going to have to rely on their run defense. I think Big Ben's throwing the ball over 40 times this week. Yeah. My dart is Jared Goff against Philly. Oh. I think the Eagles' defense, their defensive line is good, man. They have a great run defensive line. But the way he was throwing the ball last week, he was completing passes left to right, but the Cowboys were shutting them down in the red zone. He couldn't get any touchdowns. But his stats between just completed passes, crossing routes to Robert Woods and Kupp and everything, and Higbee, I think that Goff with Kupp and Higbee or Goff with Robert Woods and Higbee is a great sneaky stack this week, under 5% for everybody.
So who's your fade then? Is it Dak? I know we can.
My fade's Dak. If I was gonna pick in the Atlanta-Dallas game, I'm going Atlanta. I feel like
Yeah.
Atlanta.
That's a full fade for all three of us on Dak, and I think Joey, your point's well taken on Deshaun. He has the same rushing upside that Kyler Murray has at 12% less ownership. FTN's projecting him at anywhere between 4 to 6% ownership, and he's $300 more than Kyler Murray, right? But I think the biggest trap that a lot of people get into, especially like newer DFS players, is like they think Baltimore, they think tradition of good defense, they think Ray Lewis, they think Harbaugh, and then they go, well, they just have a stud defense, so I can't play anybody against them.
Yep.
And that's just not true, right? Like, the people like say, I love when I hear on Monday morning, well, this guy won a GPP because he had a shitty quarterback and he scored a ton of garbage time points. Well, guess what, folks? Like, garbage points still count in fantasy.
All fantasy, baby. It's not about the win. It's about the fantasy win.
These guys get paid millions of dollars, and the coaches are being paid millions of dollars to go out and put their best showing on paper. If they can make a game that starting at the first in the fourth quarter is 35-10, if they can make it 38-24 by the end of the game, it just makes them look a lot better.
Last night's the best example. The Browns, the Bengals actually covered last night, and they got their ass beat all game long, and they actually covered.
Because it's a first-year coach. He's going to show that, like, he's just not going to roll over and die. And, like, look, screw you guys. We're going to keep throwing the ball because what do we have to lose? So I think that's a pretty sharp play.
And what's the term you hear all the time in, the industry, right? It's game flow, right? And, if you had to pick one game, you would have to imagine Baltimore from start to finish is going to be leading this game, which means they're chasing, which means they're probably not going to run on Baltimore. Watson's got to fire away.
And he always does. Always, it's proven. He always does in the second half when he's behind, and sometimes he actually gets wins.
My only fear on it, and this is like, obviously no one can predict this, and it's not saying like why I'm playing him or I'm not playing him. I have 2 Watson Fuller stacks, but we are like literally one play away at any time for Will Fuller to be out for the game in like the first quarter. Yeah. And it's like the whole game's.
And that scares the shit out of me, but he's also in the same place as Mike Evans this week, and we'll get there. But in the low 6,000s, they're up there with the 3 touchdown max, just like these guys up in the 8,000s at receiver. And that's what it's like, holy shit.
So are we going to running back or receiver next?
We're going to go to running back next.
All right. Unless
you guys want to go just jump to receiver because we're already on this quarterback talk.
No, let's go to let's stick with the plan. Let's go to running back.
All right.
Who was up first for running back, Joe?
Well, Joe, you went last, so you go.
Yeah,
first.
So I'm going to be up first here. Everyone's riding Zeke, but he's my fade this week. I'm just too scared. There's too many weapons on the Cowboys. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I just don't. I mean, Zeke might put up 20 points, but again, that's only 2 times for Zeke. He's over $8,000. So I'm not on Zeke. The one guy I thought I was going to pay up for is Henry, just because I think he might actually get the ball 40 times this week on the run. They have receivers out. Jacksonville's run defense is terrible. But my 2 favorite guys are Aaron Jones and Austin Eckler. And I rode these guys last week, and they kind of hurt me. Jones actually did pretty well. He got out 3 times exactly. Eckler totally screwed me. But Eckler, sneaky, still had over 80% of the snaps at running back. Tyrod Taylor just wasn't giving him the ball. And right after the game, the head coach, Lynn, went right away on Eckler. He was like, we got to get the ball to Eckler more. And I think Eckler's going to be a big bounce-back guy this week. He's down like $400. They're going to be behind. He's a huge pass-catching back. Same thing with Jones in the opposite situation. I think they're going to be up early. And I think they're just going to ride Jones. I think Jones gets over 20 carries. Yeah, Williams might get in there and take some snaps from him. But I think Jones gets the red zone carries, and I think Jones might be a 2 to 3 touchdown candidate this week.
Yeah, so Joey, you're all over it. I mean, we all play GPPs here. We don't play cash games, right? So we all play like single entry, 3 max, and then we'll throw in some massive large field GPPs. Jones is coming in at 7 to 9%. Eckler's coming in at 6 to 8%. So for the types of tournaments that we play and the leverage that we're trying to gain on the field, like those guys are perfect guys, right? And I think with Eckler, you have to take a look at like what was happening last year. I know it's a different quarterback, but it's the same philosophy, right? He was involved in the usage. He just didn't get the targets and he didn't get the ball. So
Yep.
I think those are two great. And then Zeke is your fade, yeah?
Yeah, Zeke's my fade, and my dart is between two people, and it's David Johnson on the Texans, and it's also Drake for the Cardinals. And the reason Drake is because that defensive line, just like we were talking earlier, they're coming in hot. Drake is the perfect candidate to just get a draw play and go 80, or get a screenplay and go 80. Like we saw last year with Drake. He would get a 3-touchdown game on like 4 carries.
Well,
so I think that that might be my dart. Those are the two guys I am the most fearful for, and it's like, hey, do I want to pay down a running back? That's where I'm at. But again, those are darts.
So I hate to tell you this, but Drake is projected at 20 to 24% ownership.
I saw that for like an hour. I saw that an hour ago, and that's where I went full dart on David.
I can tell you, I have zero Drake or David Johnson. That was before I even heard about chalk.
Yeah, Vinny. I mean, I think the Drake thing is more of a volume. He's $5,900, and I think, I think people are just disrespecting the hell out of Washington's D line.
Dude, their D line's so scary.
Vinny, we can go ahead and jump into you if you want to.
Yeah.
Your running backs.
So here's my kind of thought on it this week. I started just about every single lineup. I would say at least 10 with either Zeke or Henry. And it's just simply because I have no problem eating the chalk and two guys that I think are in like smash spots, because I'm getting weird at quarterback in some of my stacks. Like I'm going to be playing a 4% Mahomes. I'm going to be playing a 1% Roethlisberger, a 1%, Watson. Like
Mahomes is not going to be that low.
But he's going to be under 10.
8 to 11.
So what? Like, well, that's fine. But what I'm saying is, like, I think I can get weird in other spots where it's like, so be it. Like, I just look at, especially for me, Henry, where he's going to get the ball 30 times tomorrow. Like, everyone talks about opportunities, everything, right? I know we were kind of like texting about it earlier, talking about Saquon. And there's no one else in Tennessee. Like, give me all the Henry I can get, and I'll figure out the rest of my lineup. I don't need to get weird in 9 straight spots.
Yeah.
Right. So we just need to get weird in 2
like we did.
to 4.
So Vinny, like we did last week, we can kind of like not skip over, but like those high end guys like Henry. Okay, so everyone's playing Henry.
So out of
like
15,
we were talking earlier.
So just for some context, Vinny, Derrick Henry is projected at 32 to 36% ownership.
Yeah.
Zeke is projected at 29 to 33%.
I hear you. So here's my share right now. I have 6 lineups for both of those guys out of 15. I've got 5 lineups with Miles Sanders, Mostert, and 4 lineups each with Taylor. And where I'm getting weird is Clyde. So whereas I'm playing Henry, Zeke, and some Taylor, like the chalky guys, I'm pairing those up with a Sanders, Mostert, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, where I still think those guys have massive upside at a quarter of the ownership, right? So like that plus a Big Ben lineup, like that's where I'm getting different. I'm not going Kyler plus Henry plus.
So I think
I
think the most interesting argument we were talking about earlier is Mostert at 6,400, right? He's a mid-range guy against the worst defense in the NFL. How many touches is he going to get? Is Mostert worth it? I think Mostert's that big question guy.
I think he is.
I think he is too. Because I think he gets the ball 20 times tomorrow.
So he's projecting between 7 and 9% ownership. He's going to get 20. He's going to get 20 to 25 touches.
And I mean, I think he clocked last week. I thought I heard on SportsCenter or something the fastest time with a ball carrier last weekend. Like this dude, it does have home run.
He did that last year too. So he's got breakaway speed.
You know,
that's the reason why he was still in the NFL. He was playing gunner on punt.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a running back.
I love Mostert tomorrow. I have, again, I'm right behind Zeke and Henry with how many shares I have of him. And I don't know why people are off of this. Joe, you kind of mentioned it, like the Rams and the Eagles being maybe a sneaky kind of, maybe not like a shootout, but I could see like a 27-24, 31-28 game.
I think
I
it's
can see
going
that
over
game
the
going
total.
over. I can
It's
see that
going
game going
the
over
total.
60.
So with
It's going
that,
over the
like,
total.
I want Miles Sanders, dude. Like Boston Scott did nothing last week to like
He
earn
was ass,
carries.
bro.
You know, I had that game last year where everybody jumped on his nuts, but like I want all the Miles Sanders. He's 100%. He practiced 3 days, 4 days this week. Like he is the bell cow on that team, and he will catch a shit ton of passes. So
100%.
give me he's 6K. Like give me that all day.
So that's a
those are my
perfect
guys.
lead. So that's a perfect lead in because Miles Sanders is by far and away my highest running back on DK. I got 50% exposure to Miles Sanders this week. Just like you just said, Vinny, Boston Scott didn't do shit for them last week. Miles Sanders is a dynamic pass catcher. Nobody really thinks about him like that. They just think Boston Scott is this little Darren Sproles type guy. But look, he showed last week that he's just a pedestrian guy. I mean, Washington can't cover the running back, and he didn't do anything, right?
And not to mention the other reason, I don't know if you were going to hit on this, but I'm just cutting you off anyway.
That's
The Eagles guards situation is completely in shambles, and they're playing Aaron Donald.
So not only
this
Aaron
guy's going to
Donald,
have no time to throw the balls, which means dump offs and just short passing game all day.
He's going to
but
have
not
to.
only Aaron Donald, man, but their whole front seven last week, they all graded decent. They all graded above 62 on PFF last week. The Rams defense is stronger than we think. I didn't have Miles Sanders anywhere, and I get it, but I don't trust the Eagles offense right now. I am terrified of the Eagles offense right now because the Washington football team shut their ass down after they were down 17-0, and then all of a sudden the offense just stopped. And I'm sorry, but Miles Sanders alone, I don't think is changing that. I think that fucking team is in shambles, man. They left everything at that Super Bowl.
Joey, it's not that he's not going to change it, but
he's got the volume, and I'm
the
with
coaching
him
staff. It's a talent thing. Like they realize that he has the talent. That if we get this guy enough touches, he could make somebody miss, and there we go off the races.
Yeah.
Like no doubt. The Rams D line is really good. The Rams linebacking core is okay. Their DBs are okay. Ramsey's obviously Ramsey, right? But he's not going to be covering Miles Sanders. We don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But he's one of those guys where what we saw from Mostert last week, that he took the little the Texas route, 60 yards for a touchdown. That could easily happen with Miles Sanders this week.
Yeah.
Right? All out blitz. Texas route, 10-yard pass, and he's gone. So that for me.
The other thing too, and I'm not trying to talk you onto the Eagles here, because I'm actually kind of talking myself onto the an Eagle stack here. But dude, they outperformed Washington pretty much every statistical category on the board, except they turned the ball over 3 times in negative territory, and Washington scored 3 straight touchdowns on those turnovers.
Yeah, because Washington's offense was 30% grade overall all around, and they somehow still won.
If they didn't turn the ball over, dude, Washington might lose that game 3-0. You know what I mean? That's possible. So I know they kicked their ass in the front seven, but
I just
overreact to the Eagles being some terrible offense. You know what I'm saying?
And another thing that scares me about Sanders alone at running back, and I love his pass catching ability, but again, I think Philly's going to be from behind in this game. I think the Rams are just that much better of a team, and Philly's going to be from behind. And I think Wentz is going to be throwing the ball to Ertz and Goddard
But that's fine. He's kind of matchup proof. He's kind of game flow proof here.
Exactly. He's not one of those guys like Derrick Henry where if they're getting their ass kicked, he's just going to come off the field. He is going to be out there, right?
Yeah, you're right.
He's one of my guys. If I'm paying all the way up, we talked a little bit about this. I'm going to pay for McCaffrey or I'm going to pay for Saquon. Yep. Both of these guys are going to be under 10%.
Saquon's going to be 4%.
So FTN has him about 7%. In single entry 3 max, he's probably going to be a little bit lower than that, probably closer to 4 or 5. The reason I'm playing these guys is because it's just a pure volume thing. It's why everyone's playing Derrick Henry, but Derrick Henry's $7,900. People aren't going to go up that, like, I mean, we were talking about it earlier in the text. You guys were like, oh, Jim, you want to play Saquon? Like, I'll just pay down $300 and play Derrick Henry. Well, that's what everybody else is doing, right?
And that's why I pay $1,000 down to go Aaron Jones.
So, look, I'm playing – we already talked about it a little bit. I'm playing Aaron Jones. I've got 2 dart throws. I don't even know why this guy is a dart throw, but he is because he's coming in at like 6% ownership. Naeem Hines.
Yeah.
I know everyone's all over Jonathan Taylor.
For sure.
He's
it's a name
projected at like 35 to 40% owned.
That's
it's
crazy.
a lock. It's
I
a
would
lock and
love
load.
that because I'm fading that like crazy.
how much is
Look,
Hines?
it's one of those like free squares because he's going to get the plays, but he's a rookie. He's not going to play on any third downs. Phillip Rivers showed us who he is again, right? And it's why Austin Eckler last year was so valuable because anytime any pressure comes to Rivers, he's just going to dump it to the running back.
Yeah,
true.
We're talking mostly DK centric because that's where most of us play most of our money on. If he catches 6 passes for 20 yards and then has a touchdown, at his price, he's just going to smash his value. And again, he's coming in under 10% owned. So I'll take that all day long. And then like my real dart throw that nobody's playing because he dropped a massive touchdown last week that could have won the game was DeAndre Swift.
I'm scared of that whole situation they have there.
That's fine.
What are they doing?
So Joey, you already talked about it. They're not going to play Kerryon Johnson. They obviously think he sucks.
Yeah.
They brought in Adrian Peterson. If they're getting their ass kicked by the Vikings, they're not going to have Adrian Peterson in on multiple passing downs. It's going to be DeAndre Swift.
True,
He's
with
their
negative
passing
receivers.
guy.
With negative receivers.
Exactly. You have no Kenny Galladay. Packers have decent linebackers, so they're going to probably be able to cover up TJ Hawkinson.
Yep.
So then you're looking at like this guy named, I don't know, his name's like fucking Cephas or something.
Oh, yeah.
And then Uncle Marv, okay?
Love Uncle Marv.
Look, this guy DeAndre Swift, they drafted him for a reason. People hammer them about the draft. They actually did a good job, I think, drafting this guy. I think Kerryon Johnson was somebody they thought that they wanted, but it's not quite.
But Adrian Peterson's the same player with third down experience and can block and do everything the same as a veteran. Exactly.
But they'll just be like, look, like we have Kerryon. He's not going anywhere, right? We'll just keep him on the bench. So DeAndre Swift is my punt. I mean, he's going to be like 1 to 2% owned because everybody saw him drop that touchdown pass. True. Right? It's not indicative of the player he is. Right? We saw it. Rookie jitters last week from wide receiver. Jerry Jeudy should have had a much bigger game. He
he'll have bigger games.
Passes.
Yep.
Yeah, DeAndre Swift. I'm looking at it right here.
I just
projected between 1 to 3% ownership.
I just don't love it from the fact that like I think the Lions are really bad. Like their entire organization's really bad. Matt Patricia's a horrible coach. He's probably going to be gone in a couple of weeks. And like there's 3 guys there, and like what Swift's upside is like 12.
But Vinny, there's not 3 guys there.
Like, no, because Kerryon's not.
I know Kerryon is on the roster. He got like 6% of the snaps last week.
Yeah, and people are scared because he did get 80% of the snaps last year because they had nobody else. But remember, Bo Scarborough was also getting 25% of the snaps
he's
last
on
year.
IR.
He's not even on a roster.
He's on IR.
Right? Yeah, I guess my philosophy more this
I like
week.
It, Jim. I like that.
Yeah, my philosophy is just more like I'm just paying up at running back, like I said, and I'll figure it out with the other 6 or 7 positions.
Well, that's fine. So. But the lineups that I'm playing Derrick Henry in, those are the lineups that I'm playing DeAndre Swift in.
Mm-hmm. And that's where running back.
So look, like
escape all these guys.
I have a lineup with Kyler Murray as quarterback, Jonathan Taylor as running back, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, Paris Campbell, Logan Thomas. My 2 weird spots are DeAndre Swift and Austin Eckler.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Eckler's that weird.
Well, he is from an ownership standpoint.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Like,
I just don't. Everyone's thinking like no Eckler this week, Joshua Kelly's in.
Yeah.
I heard someone telling Joshua Kelly's going to take over the starting job this year.
Yeah, give me a
I'm
break.
sorry, dude.
I mean, come on,
Eckler
dude.
fucking got Melvin Gordon out of the organization. I'm
No,
sorry.
I hear you. I just like playing it for me a little bit more. Not like I don't want to say the word safe, but like I know what I'm getting with like
Yeah.
8 running backs in the league, and I'm just gonna ride with those guys. And
That's
then
fine.
I agree
receiver,
because
which
you
is
can
much more
pay
variant.
down so far at receiver, and let's move on to that.
Yeah, let's hit
You
it.
can pay so far down at receiver and pay up at running back and still get the same damn value as a 7,000 receiver. So,
All right.
Well,
Vinny, you're going to lead off receivers, all right?
Okay, so paying up, if I am going up with like my Rodgers stacks, obviously I'm hitting Adams. I think he's just clear cut. He's going to get tomorrow. What's his name? The second overall pick or the third overall pick, corner out of Ohio State. He's going to light that guy up.
Oh, it's his first game too. He didn't play last week.
So and Rodgers has shown like he's just gonna throw and feed him the ball like 40 to 50% of the time. It doesn't care,
Yeah.
which I absolutely love. He's
So
expensive.
time out
Yeah.
real quick.
Mhm.
Should we just be playing like Aaron Rodgers like naked in some spots then?
It's like he's going to throw 5 touchdowns to 5 different receivers.
I mean, I have a lot of Rodgers. He's
So
right
like
there with the other guys.
Rodgers is going to be about 5% owned
Yep.
in single entry and 3 max, and Devontae Adams is going to be about 25%. So I'm just throwing that out there. Go ahead and continue.
But I think most people that are gonna, well, yeah, I see what you're saying for sure. I'm just tailing. I'm playing Rodgers in 3 lineups and I'm playing Adams in 4. So I'm playing one of them kind of separate. But I see what you're saying, no doubt. I mean, I think Rodgers is pretty proof here. Last week he looked awesome. So
For sure.
pay up. I really like Adams. Like I said, I'm going up at running back this week. As far as the only other guy that I'm paying up for really is Tyreek. And I just think that he has the chance at what's he going to be 5 to 8, maybe 10% owned. Like he could bust the slate open at any time. And that's where at receiver, like I don't mind paying, getting weird, or like I'll tell you here in a second, like paying down, but guys that could break the slate. Like I want those home run hitter guys. Like I do have some Scotty Millers. I do have some Adam Humphreys just from the target share, but like give me the guys like Jalen Reagor. We talked about the Eagles. Like, dude, that guy could turn 3 catches into 22 points. I'm playing a lot of Hollywood Brown again. That guy, Houston's defense is terrible.
Tyreek Hill's coming in at about 7 to 8% ownership overall. In single entry and 3 max, he's probably going to be closer to 5 to 6%.
That's crazy. So yeah, tee him up all day. I really like Mike Williams as a pay down guy. And it's just simply because if San Diego's trailing, I mean, Tyrod's got to throw, I guess.
He's $4,200.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And I think
come on.
And he's the number 1 receiver.
I think his floor is like 10. And
they have Keenan Allen, but
Tyrod didn't even go his way last week, you know. And
dude, Tyrod didn't go anyone's way last week, and that's what's scaring the shit out of me.
But what do you think Kansas City's saying? Okay, well, we're going to be up here. We're putting 2 on Keenan, and we're going to bracket him and say, go beat us somewhere else. And there's him and Hunter Henry, which, you know, I don't have any of.
And honestly, that's where I'm hoping the whole Eckler thing goes, that KC just drops 8 back and Eckler just gets fucking 12 catches somehow.
For sure. So
yeah, I mean, that's just a flat-out misprice by DK. 4,200 is just absolutely ridiculous in the game script. And a number 2 receiver on a team that really doesn't even have a number 3 receiver.
For sure.
I mean, dead serious. Like, they don't have, like – all these other teams are talking about, like Atlanta, like Dallas, like you can all say, like, yeah, these teams are going to have to throw a lot. They have legitimate slot. Like these guys just have nothing.
Totally.
No.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, there's just no one. Like it's like a Quentin Cephas type of play, right? Like there's just nobody there. So like,
for sure,
I don't know how their algorithm works, but pricing him at 4,200 is just ridiculous. And then people just aren't going to play him. He's coming in at like 6 to 8% ownership. Like, I don't get it.
It's insane.
Like maybe I'm missing something. Like,
no, you're not missing anything.
They could bench Tyrod at halftime and be like, look, like, dude, I get it. You're a veteran, but look, we've just seen enough. Like,
so I think what happened was, like last week I told you Paris Campbell He was 3,900 last week, and he came in at like 8% ownership in the GPPs. He's up to about 14 or 15% now, right, Jim? He was on our Guru site, but at that 4,500 range, Campbell's coming in at like 13% right now, and I think people are just all over Campbell and Indy, and they're just leaving alone Rager and they're leaving alone Mike Williams, and I just think that's what's happening.
Sorry, I'll just wrap mine up real quick, and I don't want to spend all day on my receivers, but full fade Amari Cooper. I'm rolling the dice. I know that is absolutely suicide. I think Amari could go for 200 tomorrow, but I think Amari could also go 3 for 50. Like I think he has complete huge bust potential. I'm getting my exposure to that game through CD Lamb on that side of the ball. He's cheap, and then on the other side, I'm going a little bit of Ridley, a little bit of Julio, and I think if you're not playing Russell Gage in a few, like you're really like mistaken. He's the slot corner or a slot receiver.
So the big thing with Gage, Vin, that scares me was last week an outlier of 12 targets.
Yes.
Is he a 5-target guy, or is he getting that 10 targets a game?
Well, let me ask you this.
That's what scares me.
If it's a shootout and Dallas knows it's coming, right? Like they're either up or Atlanta's just going to throw. They're not a running team. Where are you putting your resources? Where are you putting your EVs? You're not going to single cover Julio and Ridley, right?
So without jumping to tight ends, but Hayden Hurst was on 80% of pass plays last week.
I just don't think he's very
good. If you're a top tight end, you're above 70% on pass plays. Like you're running routes 70% of the time. Hayden Hurst ran routes 80% of the time last week.
He what's he gonna do with them is what like I care about,
And I'm just saying at 60, was he 6,300? I think Hurst is.
No, he's way cheaper.
He's way cheaper. He's 4,600.
Yeah.
And he was running 80 to 85% routes. That is George Kittle status. And then Kelsey status. Like literally Kittle and Kelsey. That's the same. And the thing is, it could go his way, man.
I get it. It could, but I just think Matt Ryan's got his guys. He's going to force feed Julio. He's going to force feed his receivers. That's Matty Ice. Like, again, for Hayden Hurst at 46, I'm either going up a little bit for Hunter Henry or Goddard, or I'm going down to Jonnu Smith. And we'll talk to about the guy that I'm going to at tight end. But
I'm telling you right now, I'm not taking anyone that's taking passes from Tyrod Taylor.
The last sleeper, a guy I'm playing a lot tomorrow, and it's just simply we talk about target share is Brandon Ayuk for the Niners.
Yep.
There's nobody else. He is the guy. He was a first-round pick. Apparently, in training camp, everyone raved about him. He's healthy. He's the only one for 4,300.
Yep.
Like, whatever. I'll toss him in as a punt. So I'll let you guys go into your favorites. But
all right,
I know we hit
Jim,
a bunch.
do the honors.
So this guy's chalky, but I don't care. He's going to be DeAndre Hopkins. I'm playing some Kyler Murray, like we talked about, so I'm going to play Hopkins. It's a very easy correlation for me. I'm not scared about, Kirk taking it away.
The whole deep pass thing versus short pass thing.
I don't care. He's going to be, I think he's going to get more volume than Julio. He's going to get more volume than some of these other chalky receivers, and he's coming in at 16 to 17% ownership. I mean, I'll take that all day long.
Okay.
My fade is also Amari at 23 to 25% ownership. Just sorry, if Amari Cooper beats me tomorrow, that's fine. I really don't care.
For sure.
I mean, it just is what it is, right?
Dude, he got 8 targets all in the fourth quarter of them trying to come back last week. Before that, he wasn't even
he could very well burn my ass tomorrow. But I'm going to go down to Gallup at 5,600 at 16% ownership. I think Michael Gallup's a more dynamic receiver. I think he's got better hands than Amari Cooper does. I think Joey, as a Raiders fan, would probably agree with me on that. And then, a guy that we've kind of talked about quite a bit as my dart throw, that you guys think that, he sounds like he should have been in like the lead star in like an American Pie movie is Scotty Miller. They're playing the Panthers. There's no Chris Godwin. There's Mike Evans. The Panthers are going to make Scotty Miller and whoever the hell else beat them with Brady. Scotty Miller is going to play the slot. Brady loved to throw Edelman in the slot. It's an easy throw for Brady. Brady will first down you to death. It's exactly how the Patriots used to beat everybody, right? Like whatever, we had Randy Moss at one point, but we could still get to the Super Bowl with
13
Julian
years
Edelman.
Ago.
Exactly. Julian Edelman running out of the slot. I mean, Scotty Miller's so freaking cheap. It's just like,
why not?
I'll take the 10 targets and 6 catches for like 80 yards, and like maybe he gets in on a touchdown on one of those like little like garbage China routes down by the goal line. Like, just sign me up. That's kind of where I'm going. Matt, for my massive dart throws. I also like Terry McLaurin in the correlation stack for Kyler Murray. I know Joey hates Dwayne Haskins.
So wait, just real quick, this is the guy you're putting your punt in.
Scotty Miller.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Surf's up, dude.
Yeah. 100%. You got a problem with that?
I just saw his picture. I had to
Surf's
flash
up,
it.
dude.
I'm from Santa Cruz. I
Dude,
surf.
there's also no
just
doubt.
Sign me up with them.
I know this isn't the show for it, like not to like make a joke out of this, but like there's no doubt in my mind Brady showed up, and even though with Chris Godwin, Evans, and everyone there, he was like, "That's my guy."
Dude, Scotty
You
Miller.
saw
He was
Scotty
like, dude,
Miller
let's go
run
have some
past
dinner. You're gonna meet Giselle tonight. Yeah, Scotty Miller was the guy.
He's like Wes
Day
Welker,
one.
Edelman.
But look, dude,
You're right,
Scotty
dude.
Miller,
You're right. You're right.
Scotty Miller was that guy who you knew they had Godwin, they had Evans. He was probably trying to do everything he could to get in Brady's good graces, just in case one of these guys got hurt. And he's like, look, if he could parlay this into a Danny Amendola or a Wes Welker type, I mean, look, these are all guys that have played with Brady and Manning, right?
Yeah.
Guys who just love to throw to the slot and veteran quarterbacks who will just say, hey, screw it. I'll take 8 yards and a first down rather than trying to pump it downfield. For his price, I mean, it just
it makes trust me, man. It makes a lot of sense.
The other dart throw, Min Price, another white guy, Braxton Berrios, playing the slot for the Jets. I absolutely am. Why am I not? He's $3,000, Vinny.
And what corners do the Niners really have?
No Richard Sherman.
It's
and
more
everybody
the fact that like I watched the Jets play last week and was like puking in my mouth. If Crowder doesn't take that ball 70 yards for a touchdown, they literally did nothing.
They're so bad.
Nothing.
They're
like
so
this.
bad.
I truly think, like, I know it's a professional team, but like 50 of those guys in the locker room have gotten together and been like, look, if we just continue this, Gase will be gone in a few weeks.
Yeah, we're just here for the paycheck.
Yeah, but Braxton Berrios, a guy who's making min salary, is not one of those guys. He's going to be like,
he'll be fine.
Hey, Ghost Skin Sam, throw
Jim,
me the ball 30
I'm just
times.
scared. I'm just scared. Will Braxton get that 9 targets, or will he get 3? Right, which could come out to like 2 or 3. It could come out to that way. It could.
There's no chance. Three. I'd say 5 to 6 targets is his floor.
Right, we're gonna talk about this next week when this is over.
Why wouldn't you? So he's $3,000. He's $3,000, right?
Yes, min price.
Yeah.
I'm playing like much more Adam Humphries, who I know is like an NFL caliber player with AJ Brown out. Like,
oh, good. I'm playing them both in the same lineup.
oh my God!
How do I share my screen? I'll fucking.
Guys just trying to go the full.
How do I share my fucking screen?
I wield the power.
Guys.
The screen.
I'm moving on to my receivers.
I think I'm the only one that actually has the ability.
Fuck.
So
That's stupid.
Shut up, peasant.
Thank God. All right, guys, my receivers. My receivers are always based off of stacks of my quarterbacks. If I'm going to Matt Ryan, I'm going to Julio and Ridley in the same stack because, again, they might both get over 10 targets in the same game. With the Rams, I love Woods and I love Kupp, but I'm not going both of them. I'm going to go one of them with Higbee. I really like that Rams stack. I love Pittsburgh, Juju, with Johnson, right?
Mhm.
I think Ben, Juju, and Johnson all in actually the same lineup is actually a great stack. I think
have
they're all
that,
going to
yep.
get huge targets.
I have that.
But my favorite of all favorites is still Deshaun Watson and Fuller. Again, like Vinnie, you said, yeah, Fuller can break his back in the first quarter. That's on the table. But Fuller's also a guy that might catch the ball 13, 14 times and get 200 yards because guys like Kenny Stills is the second receiver.
Incredible.
And Kenny Stills should have been out of the league 3 years ago. So I think that's a
huge.
huge stack. I think the most underrated person is Marvin Jones. He's going at 5% right now, projection. 5,700. Galladay is out. This is still Matt Stafford we're talking about.
What are you talking about 5%? He's at like 7 to like 12%.
So he was at 5% on my site as of today.
That's Jeff. You have Jeff Mans on that site. So
what was the excuse
guy
last
doesn't know
week for
jack
Marvin?
fucking shit about football.
What was the excuse last week for Marvin Jones then?
So Marvin Jones, what was his targets last week?
He had like 11 targets.
Yeah, he had 11 targets.
But again, like his floor for a guy's 5,700, like I don't know. Like I just feel
But Marvin Jones reminds me a lot of Robert Woods. The guy is gonna get his floor, regardless. He's gonna hit the floor no matter what. And with Galladay out, Marvin Jones is gonna get those red zone targets. They don't have anybody. And Stafford's gonna huck and chuck, man, especially if they're behind, and they're gonna be behind against the Packers. They might be behind 20 points at halftime. I think Marvin Jones at 5,700, if you get him under 15% owned, I still think you're killing it.
So
Now,
FTN's got him at 10 to 11% across all tournaments. In single entry to 3 max, they've got him closer to 6 to 8%.
and honestly, that's amazing. Like, he's still the number one receiver with Matt Stafford.
I agree.
Now, Campbell, I'm on him again, but his ownership's just too high, so I'm off that again. Christian Kirk, the ownership's high on him. I thought I was going to get sneaky with him because of his downfield targets. Apparently, everyone's on that, so I'm off of Kirk as well. Now, I wanted to ask you guys, we're going to discussion here a little bit. Boykin for the Ravens.
No.
4,100. He played more snaps last week than Brown. He actually had the most snaps of all receivers at 4,100. The guy stands at 6'4", 230. I can possibly.
Joey.
Nothing proven. This is a dart of darts.
So Boykin kind of sucks, and I mean he's been tossed around a little bit. Like I'd rather play Adam Humphries at 3,400. I mean, or Ayuk at 4,300. You know, or even like one of those losers for the Jets, like Chris Hogan at 3,200 or Barris at 3,000. Like, I just don't think that they're going to need, like, his value. He's going to probably have 5 to 6 targets. They're going to be deep, and he's going to have to catch one.
Yeah.
Dude,
If he doesn't, it's just such a high variance play.
Right.
That, like,
I see what you're saying for the playing time, Joe. I've just pulled up his 2019 game logs. The most targets he got in a game in 19 was 3.
And that's with Lamar just throwing inside the hash marks all last year, right? That's all Lamar did was throw inside the hash marks. He's actually starting to expand a little bit. And that's where I'm thinking, like, hey, we might get Miles Boykin at 0.5% with the most snaps on one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL.
Okay, but like I guess my point being is like I don't like his upside thus far, like in his career, is like 8 points. Whereas you have Jalen Reagor, Scotty Miller, Mike Williams, Laviska Shenault doubled up his best game ever in one game last week.
True.
So like why not just play those guys instead?
So Boykin is not going to be 0.5% owned, Joan. He's looking anywhere from 2 to 4%.
Still nothing.
Still crazy low. So here's what I'm thinking as just like from a football's perspective. Boykin had the highest run blocking grade of all receivers. I know that has nothing to do with fantasy. I know that. I'm not a fucking idiot. But that means he's not coming off the field. He's playing every down.
I mean,
They're on
that's
offense.
fine. I mean, if you want
You
to
know what
play
I
him,
mean?
like
Don't do it, dude.
you obviously have a strong
I know.
conviction.
Trust me.
So play him.
I've waived him off of most things, but
Don't.
he's been the one player just kind of like stood out to me, going
No, it's
like,
fine then.
is
Look,
he
play
that
him.
guy
Like,
that
you guys
actually
are all-
does something?
If anything,
You guys are all
use
hammering
Fred
me for
today.
playing Barrios, and I'm gonna still play Barrios and
For
fucking
sure.
Scotty Miller, and I'm gonna still play Scotty Miller. So look, this is like the one thing other about DFS. Like, if you have a strong conviction about something, look, just fucking play it because like. There's just a good a chance that like you have like it's just a crapshoot, right?
It is.
Let's
It
say
comes to
like
it, yep.
Marquise Brown and Mark Ingram get hurt within the first quarter. Like, holy shit! Like, Boykin's probably going to be a smash play now, right?
Right.
But we're at the point where time wise we got to move on to tight end.
All right,
Yes.
do it.
So I think I'm up first for tight end.
I just go for it.
It's pretty easy for me. Jonnu Smith, $4,200. Just my lock and load. I'm just playing him everywhere. I have him in about 50% of lineups. Hayden Hurst is my other guy that I'm going to play. I don't care if you think that he sucks. The pass funnel for the Dallas Cowboys right now with no Leighton Vander Esch and a banged up linebacker core is going to be to the tight end. They are not going to let Julio Jones, and they're not going to let same reason why you're playing Russell Gage is why you should play Hayden Hurst. My dart throws it. I mean, the chalky tight end, the cheap tight end out there is Logan Thomas this week. My dart throw that's pretty low owned is going to be Mike Gesicki. That's how you're going to attack Buffalo. They have good cornerbacks, right? They don't have great pass coverage linebackers. Mike Gesicki can exploit that a little bit. And then obviously Chris Herndon. And, I've got a little bit of Jordan Reed just because Kittle's out. He's $2,600. But those are only with Garoppolo lineups. I'm not playing him independently anywhere. I'm just playing with him Garoppolo.
Okay.
Joe?
Then? Oh, I'll go. Yeah, honestly, man, same with Reed. But a little different scenario. I'm not going to the Garoppolo lineups, but when I'm playing Reed, it's just because I'm paying up elsewhere. I just want to pay for shit at tight end. So in that scenario, it's Reed and Mo Alley Cox for Indy. I mean, there's no one else.
Whoa.
And Mo Alley Cox last year, man, when he actually played, he did well, man. He put up numbers.
Is Doyle confirmed out?
Yeah, he's confirmed out.
Okay.
And Mo Alley Cox is 3,000. He's going to be low ownership in the end. He might go up a little bit on Sunday for sure. But those are my guys like, hey, I don't want to pay up at tight end. I'm paying up elsewhere. It's Reed and Cox. Those are my low-owned guys. Otherwise, it's Jonnu and it's Hurst, just like Jim. Yeah. Hurst is just – he's on the field too much. He's running too many routes. Jonnu, who else are you going to throw to? And play action, which when Tennessee was doing play action, by the way, the other night, holy shit. They were literally crushing everybody. Right. And that's all this week's going to be. Run to Derrick Henry, play action to Jonnu. That's going to be the over and over again this week.
And I'm playing 4 guys, and I have the heaviest share of everybody here on Jordan Reed. I just think for 2,600, like it's a free square if he catches 3 balls for 25
So who
yards.
are your other 3 guys?
Thomas, I'm playing a little bit of.
But Logan Thomas is up at like 25%, isn't he?
I've got him at 15 to 17%.
Okay, so I might jump off of that some. And then I'm going Cox and Jonnu. Like, those are my 4.
Exactly.
Honestly, part of it, and like this sounds crazy, like I'm just not paying up for Hayden Hurst. Like, I'm going way down. Like, because I'm saving.
4,600 is not paying up, but
no.
Okay.
And I just love. I love the fact again. 80 tight ends. If you're above 50% on routes, you're a stud tight end. You are on Kelsey Kittle status. He is on 80% of routes last week, which will happen again this week.
Your guy Hayden Hurst.
The fact that he's just running routes. He's out there running routes. He's open for pass catches, which, Matt Ryan didn't hit him all the time. He did have that fucking insane diving catch last week. What I'm saying is the potential of Hayden Hurst at 4,600 and Logan Thomas is why everyone's on Logan Thomas was because he went out for 80% of the routes last week as well.
And the Cardinals can't cover a tight end for 2 years ongoing now. But I think I'll bet you guys both $10 Jordan Reed outscores Hayden Hurst tomorrow.
I'll take that bet.
Fantasy points.
Yeah, I'll take that bet.
All right, $10, big dollars. All right, hit
Jim's
on
not even
defense.
there.
Yeah, I know. He just left. He was so disgusted by Jordan Reed pick.
Shit.
All right, defense. You want to lead off and just
Yeah, so I'm only paying up in one lineup, and that's I'm going to go in one Niners lineup to hopefully get like a 30-point number from them somehow, just because the Jets are that bad. But my favorites are the Cardinals, the Rams, and the Dolphins. Cardinals against the Redskins. Well, Washington football team. Washington football team. Their offensive line is so atrocious. Chandler Jones might get 4 sacks by himself tomorrow. So Cardinals at 3,000, I'm taking it. Rams 2,800 against Philly's offensive line, which was trash last week. I'm taking it. Aaron Donald again might get 3 sacks by himself. Dolphins at 2,100. That's the flyer, but they're coming in at like 14% owned right now. So I might move off of the.
High?
Yeah,
No.
everyone kind of like hopped on the Dolphins just like we did this week. So
I mean, dude,
hold on. Let me go look.
yeah, because on Guru they're at 13%. So they're the highest owned defense on Guru right now. So
What?
At 2,100, everyone's paying down apparently. But if that's gonna happen, I'm all in on the Cardinals. If that ownership goes up on the Dolphins like that, I'm gonna just pump the Cardinals in almost every lineup.
Yeah, but then you got to find the $900.
True.
So
Which will come at receiver to me.
Sure.
I don't mind it because it's 2,100. Like if I'm with 20% of other people, like that's fine. It's because I'm paying up in other spots and I feel okay about that. Whatever.
Yeah.
So it goes back to the conversation we were having on the text thread all week where Vinnie said like he's just going to lock button the 49ers because they're just going to kill the Jets. Like I get that, but it's what can you do with that extra $900 in this case?
Mm-hmm.
Can you provide yourself a higher ceiling with that $900 in an actual position player than you can in defense? And I think that you can.
So, yeah, check this out, Jim. Just at tight end, if you want to go from Hurst to Mo Cox, 1,600.
Okay,
just to go from Hurst to Mo Cox.
So that's fine, but you said wide receiver.
Right,
so
like a receiver.
So, that's fine. I'm with you if you want to do something like that. I'm not with you if you're gonna take a wide receiver and pay $900 less to go play the Arizona Cardinals defense. I'm just not on board with that. I'm playing some Cardinals, but I'm not gonna absolutely just throw them out or try and jam them in and pay down for a receiver strictly because of the savings.
I agree.
Yeah, and I'm pretty much I'm about 45%, about 40% Niners, 40% Dolphins.
So what did you say about the Cardinals, Joey? You said Guru has them at the highest owned defense?
No, that's Dolphins.
No, the Dolphins.
Oh, okay.
At 2,100. And that's where I was saying, like, if everyone's just paying down for defense,
you were saying to pivot
I might pivot back to the Cardinals.
So it's funny because the FTN, which compiles stuff from all of the industry, has the Dolphins at about 12% in across all tournaments and only about 8 to 9% in single entry and 3 max. FTN actually has the highest owned defense be the Buccaneers at about 16 to 17%.
Great.
Good God.
I'll fade the shit out of that. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't even on my radar.
No.
The Cardinals, FTN has the Cardinals that are anywhere between 5 and 7%, maybe up as high as an 8.
Yeah. My favorite team is the Cardinals. If I can fit that defense in at 3,000 for what I want the Cardinals as my defense. And there's moments I've had to, because of like 100 or 200 here and there, I moved on to the Rams at 2,800.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like that's the last pivot I do is the Rams down to 2,800 if it's only 100, 200 difference. Just because I don't trust Philly yet.
So Vin, who's your highest owned defense, your lock?
Again, my two, I have a third Dolphins, I have a third Niners, and then I'm splitting up the rest between Cardinals. I have one team I'm playing with the Bears, simply because I think the Giants are just a complete dumpster fire. I don't care. They're if you've watched their offensive line play, like they're gonna kick the shit out of the Giants tomorrow.
They're gonna score garbage points.
Maybe. And I'm playing a little bit of the Jags, and it was just a price thing for what my lineup had. I
just don't
think
see any turnovers happening.
But that's
at all.
I don't think that game goes over 30 points.
Yeah, I think from a strong defense perspective, that's one thing. But to get fantasy points, like which one of these defenses really gonna who's gonna put up that 20 points on defense this week? And obviously the Niners there.
Honestly, the only reason I did it is I had like 2,400 left for a defense, and because I was so heavily weighted on the Dolphins, I just wanted one team different in case the Dolphins do get absolutely just blown off the map tomorrow, and like maybe the Jags get me 1 point versus -3. It's the only reason I played it. That's it.
So who's your fade then?
I'm fading the Bills and the Steelers, the Ravens, the Titans. Again, I'm only playing 5 defenses with the Jags because it's either I'm going up to the Niners. I think they are still going to handle their shit tomorrow, and the Jets are the worst team in football, or I'm going pretty much all the way down.
So I've got defense spread out a little bit. I think I have Niners at about 35% ownership. I got Niners. I've got the Dolphins, and I've got the Cardinals, and I have the Rams in a few. My dart throw is the Eagles. Jared Goff plays very, very poorly under pressure, and he's very prone to giving up pick sixes, horrible interceptions, as we've all seen in the past. My fade based on ownership is going to be the Buccaneers. I mean, I have no idea why so many people are playing the Bucs at 2,900. Like, I get that they're playing, Teddy Bridgewater, but Teddy Bridgewater doesn't give up too many sacks, and he doesn't really give up too many turnovers.
Yeah.
So, like, if everyone's going to play the Bucs, like, I'm just fine not playing the Bucs. It's Niners for me if I'm paying up. I've got one lineup where I played the Steelers just simply because it's a Steelers stack. Just trying to gain some more leverage on the field there. But other than that, I mean, Niners, Cardinals, a little bit of Rams, and then Dolphins.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you guys laughed at like the Jaguars defensive play. Would you throw a dart instead with the Giants? I know there's absolutely terrible.
That's who I was just looking at.
Trubisky.
No, it's not
I think
just
the Giants have one of the worst
Vinnie,
defenses in the league.
I don't think they're okay. They're not going to go win games. Okay, they're not this fucking star defense. But what I'm thinking about from the Giants is who is their GM, and all he cares about is D line and linebackers. I'm sorry, but the Giants D line is young, but it's solid. Chicago's gonna have to pass tomorrow.
Dude, they got tattooed by the Steelers on Monday night. Like,
the Steelers, dude, and
they play well against the run, but why? I just don't get why you're gonna pay $300 more to go play them rather than just play the Dolphins.
I hear what you're saying. There is a chance that the Bills come out and absolutely.
Devin Singletary has a fumbling problem. Their quarterback, Allen, has a fumbling issue. Deshaun Diggs has been known to give up fumbles. John Brown has been known to give up fumbles. So, for me personally, I want nothing to do with the Giants other than Saquon Barkley this week. I'm not paying more to go get the Giants just to get off a little bit of ownership.
Totally.
Just give me the Dolphins at 2,100, and then I can take that $300 and maximize my ceiling somewhere else.
No doubt. Yeah. And again, I just wanted to I'm throwing one random shot out there for a team, the Jags.
I'd rather play the Jags against Ryan Tannehill and hope that he fumbles or throws some horrible interception rather than playing the Giants, who I think they have no playmakers.
Totally. And again, it was just more so there is a chance, the Dolphins just get absolutely beat 50-0 tomorrow. Who knows? And I just want one team down there that's different. That's it.
So, Vinny, and that's the one team down there that's different is Giants the only team that I'm on when it comes to that. And it's because if Chicago's going to move the ball tomorrow, it's going to be through the air, which means shit can happen, especially when Trubisky's back there. Yeah, you're right, Jim. The Giants don't have any playmakers, but neither does Chicago on the offensive side of the ball outside of Allen Robinson. if Trubisky can actually fucking give him the ball accurately, right? I mean, I saw 3 balls last week go off a receiver's hands that were almost picks on Trubisky last week. That didn't end up becoming.
No, he's really bad.
I mean,
So-
I'd rather play the Chargers for 2,000 than play the Giants at 24.
Oh, okay. That's reaching, dude.
I think the Giants are maybe the worst defense in the league.
They have no pass rush. None. They have Leonard Williams who can play the run, and that's it. I'm sorry.
All right.
Don't be sorry.
Sorry, I'm not sorry.
All right. Well, I think you walked out, but we ended up making a bet. If you want in,
Oh, yeah.
that Jordan Reed fantasy, like just straight up points, outscores Hayden Hurst tomorrow.
So I'm on Hayden Hurst scores more points than Jordan Reed. $10 on Vinny. What do you got, Jim?
I'll take Hurst.
Let's go.
Guys, not
Do
even
it.
giving. I mean, yeah. Hurst is about to fucking score 25 tomorrow, so that's cool.
If he scores
Jordan-
25, good luck. I guess I agree my $10.
If Jordan Reed scores 12 points, it'll be astonishing.
Yeah.
That
I'll be
might
really
also-
happy.
Yeah.
I'll be really happy, but I will be astonished if he scores more than 12 points.
If he doesn't get a concussion in pregame warmups.
Come on.
You guys had
I mean,
8. You guys had like 8 concussions in the last like 3 years.
The guy's a walking Junior Seau. I mean,
You just fucking knock on his head and that's it.
But when he's out there, there's no denying his talent, or at least
well,
what was.
I hope
last
the,
time
I hope
saw
the
him,
Niners
so.
do good bedroom checks and there's no shotguns.
Oh my god, dude. I'm gonna have to cut that out of the podcast. All right,
Don't ever fucking cut that out.
all right, guys.
All right, guys.
That's it. Best of
Take
luck
our
tomorrow.
picks, win some money tomorrow, Sunday. Let's fucking do this, guys. We'll be
All
on
right,
Twitter.
Everybody follow along on Twitter. I've been playing a lot of props. I've been killing it on props. Check out, I got 2 props going tomorrow. Check out Twitter at JJ McIntosh. I got a few more I'm going to post in the morning. But for the last 3 games, I think I'm 12-2 on props.
Hey,
So
Love
not
that.
bad.
I'm at DFS Joey Levine. I just like to talk shit. Vinny?
Yeah, and I'm just a little commentary, a little criticism, a little bit of everything. Vinnie Levine 29.
All right, guys. See you in the next pod. See you next week.
Later.
Good luck tomorrow.
Later.